in our case, because a lot of the times we're all very global. A lot of we're all from different countries. So I feel like it's kind of sucks to have someone like pay for their own flight and hotel sometimes. And you're like, hey man, can you just pay for the $5 drink as well? And you're like,
yeah.
Well, that's exactly why I didn't want to do like the 30,000 yen, wedding gift thing.
Yeah,
it's
like, people coming from all over the world, right?
Exactly.
Just be like,
it's like,
hey,
oh,
man,
we're just happy you're even here. So,
exactly.
we're not going to do that. So.
Yeah, your presence.
Exactly. Your presence is a gift.
I mean, it's cheesy, but that's what the weddings are for.
No, 100%.
It's just a great day where you just celebrate two people's happiness.
Exactly. That's all that matters. So,
well,
yeah,
I'm very, very excited, and congratulations.
Thank you
Jerry.
very much, man.
And congratulations to you as well, Connor. For hitting, for birthing $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, what?
I was trying to wait to segue. I was just like, for getting engaged to $1 million.
Yeah. I think the phrase birthing $1 million.
I don't know why I went from wedding to childbirth. I don't know. I don't know why I went.
Connor, you look fat. You're pregnant. Oh my god!
Yeah, man, you fucking crushed it.
Yeah, crushed it yet again.
Another one down. Yeah, we went from all the way Nemuro to Tokyo. That was fun.
God, Nemuro is such a shithole, isn't it?
Nemuro was actually one of the better parts of Hokkaido.
Really?
Yeah, East Hokkaido kind of sucks.
Yeah, when I went with Chris, it was one of the most miserable experiences I've had.
So when so obviously Cyclethon 4 happened. It was planning, we started planning it in like January or December the year before. And it was going to be one day longer than the last one. And we just were like, fuck it, let's just do the same thing again. And hopefully people fuck with it and people enjoy it. And luckily they did. But yeah, it was really interesting doing it again, because now I feel like I've gotten pretty good at doing it.
Yeah.
Like I know the flow pretty well.
Yeah.
We always try to upgrade the tech a little bit.
Yeah, I saw they had drone shots this time.
A lot of drone shots this time, which is so sick.
Yeah.
So a lot of like really cool scenery. We'd have drones where we could do it, of course, because a lot of cities you can't do it. But we went to Nemuro, and it's always a logistical nightmare getting to the middle of fucking nowhere. Especially
Nemuro.
Especially when we have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like we have bikes, we have tons of batteries, we have all this kind of gear that we're like, trying to get on a plane. But we had a Nabby who got a ferry from Chiba up to Tomakomai.
Oh my God.
And then drove. And that ferry is like a day long.
God,
so he took all the shit.
Nabby the goat.
He's a trooper, man. He gets it done. And Nabby and Takadu went all the way there. And then we just flew to Nakashibetsu, Nemuro, something like that. Some airport. Hokkaido has a lot of airports. Hokkaido has 6 airports.
It's a big place.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly very well serviced by planes. Yeah, Nakashibetsu. That's it. And when we were going to get our flight, on the morning they texted us. They said like, oh, the flight might be canceled due to weather.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And we were starting tomorrow, and we were kind of fucked if this flight gets canceled. Because there are the airports, but our rental car was in this airport. So and it's really hard to change rental cars. If you don't show up, it causes a nightmare in Japan. It's very, very unflexible with a lot of things. And we had a scare, and we thought like, fuck, what are we going to fucking do if this flight? So I'm like freaking out, trying to figure out other ways we can kind of get there. And maybe we could go to Sapporo and do an 8-hour drive, or go to like another airport called Kushiro. And then hopefully there's another car we can rent and other stuff. Basically, we would have been fucked if this flight got canceled.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, don't worry. In an hour, we'll tell you if the flight's happening. And I was like, oh, great. So now I get to go to the airport and shit myself and wait and see if the flight happens. And then they change it to, okay, we're going to fly, but if we get there and the weather, the visibility's bad, we're going to turn around.
Oh, fuck.
And
Which is the worst case.
Now it's even worse, because then that means if this happens, we have to fly all the way back and then figure out some kind of flight to get on that same day and then figure this out. So either way, we would still maybe be able to make it, but we'd be getting there at like 3-4 a.m. It would be fucked. Like we'd have to, like worst case scenario, we just fucking say fuck it, get a car and drive all the way up. Like it would have been like, it would have been fucked.
Yeah.
But we get on this plane, and it's the most nerve-wracking flight of my life, because the whole time you're like trying to relax, but you know you might be turned around at the last second. And we're approaching the airport, and it's about an hour and a half from Tokyo, and you hear the landing gear go out, but I still can't see anything out the window. it's so bad, the visibility.
Right.
Impossible to see anything. And the landing gear's been out for like 5 minutes now, 10 minutes. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're not saying anything. And the landing gear's been out for a long time. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, I finally see like a crumb of the ground, and we're like through all the fog.
Right.
We're so close to the ground, and I can only see a tiny speck. And then right as we're about to land, literally 5 seconds before we land, I can finally see, and we're maybe like 20, 30 meters off the ground.
Right.
And that's when I can finally see.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Jesus Christ. This is fucked. We land safely somehow. Shout out to the pilot. My God. But although, to be honest, this airport was desolate, so even if he didn't know where he was landing, I'm sure he'd be all right. Just fucking land it on the ground.
There's lots of fields.
Yeah.
And it looks like a fucking hellscape when we land. It's miserable. It's like foggy. The fog is ridiculous, and everything's like dead. It looks horrible. It looks like a waste, like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
And it was just not the weather in this place really dictated whether it looked good or bad. And so we then go to Nemuro City, and we go in this hotel, and everything's in Russian, which is like, what the fuck is going on? But there was one good sushi restaurant, which I think you went to as well in Nemuro.
Yes.
That was absolutely peak sushi.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was like 400 yen for a fatty bluefin tuna that was like this big.
Ooh.
It was huge.
Yeah.
We went there for dinner, and it made the whole place worth it. But the hotel was so strange. The vibes were very weird. Everything about that place was very weird vibes. It was fucking freezing.
Yeah.
We started, it was -3.
Oh my God.
No, 2 degrees, sorry, but it felt like -3, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we started at the most eastern point. Really cool. Whole giant arch. Way cooler than the fucking most northern point thing.
Yeah, definitely.
What the fuck,
Is that the one with the flame in the middle? The giant arch in
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That one's
flame
really
is like
cool.
super cool. They have this giant fucking arch, and then we went to the most northern one, and I was like, this fucking blows. It looks like comparatively,
Yeah,
like
Cape Nosapu, yeah.
I was like, they need to step it up,
Yeah.
Cape Nosapu, because people go to Cape Nosapu way more. But yeah, no, very cool. But the easternmost point is really cool and like visually stunning. Like really like looks so trippy. It doesn't look like Japan at all. And the first day was great. It was like kind of sunny, very fucking cold though, and I was not prepared for how cold it was going to be. I did not bring any stuff for the cold. I just brought stuff for rain.
Yeah.
Because I just figured like, oh, I'll get hot, but
Yeah.
I did not get hot.
Yeah.
Had sushi, and yeah, it was great. And then it just never stopped being foggy. It was like fogging for like 3-4 days, and it was insane.
Yeah.
And there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing for like 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, like, I joined the last day of Hokkaido.
You did, yeah. You had like the more easy,
Yeah.
like, like terrain and scenery.
Yeah. I mean,
we went to like the most bomb fucking restaurant. That lunch place was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, the fucking farmers market lunch place, or the
it was like for like two of the days we couldn't have any lunch because there was just no lunch places because there was like literally nothing. So if you bring up a map of Hokkaido, it was kind of like Nemuro had stuff, and then from Nemuro until like we started getting close to Tomokomai, like like from
More to the east.
Yeah, so
East.
Yeah, so like Nemuro, you can see we cycled all the way over to Kushiro, and Kushiro was kind of cool.
I like Kushiro.
Kind of famous for a couple of things. I can't remember what it's famous for now, but I know Obihiro is really close to it. It's famous for all the horses.
Yeah.
And we saw a bunch of horses, which is sick.
Yeah, Kushiro's like a really weird city because I don't know if you got this vibe.
It's pretty big.
Like, it's very European in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like the architecture is super European and it doesn't feel like Japan in a weird way.
Kushiro.
Did you get that vibe from Kushiro?
I felt like Kushiro looked really Eastern European.
Yeah.
It looked very Eastern. Dude, this train station in Kushiro looked rough.
Yeah.
Can you show?
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Can you show the Kushiro station? It looked, not gonna lie, man. It looked, because that's where you couldn't get the train from, right? The snow train. See, that picture makes it look nice.
Yeah.
It
looks way rougher than that.
Because it was like grim and like foggy, it looked bad.
Yeah.
It did not look good. But there's a very nice bakery in there. But the whole town was like, there's something about a town that is built for the snow that when it's not snowing, it looks bad.
Yeah, especially when it's just in between period before there's color there.
Yeah.
Definitely during the point in Hokkaido, I was like, damn, everything gray, everything dead.
Yeah. Everything's gray, everything's dead.
Yeah.
It looked like shit. It just didn't. I felt like it was a bad time to go because nothing ended up looking good, except for when we scaled like a fucking mountain that had snow on it, and it looked so sick when we were cycling on it.
Yeah,
but there's like no signal at all,
so no one could see it.
Well, so I did. People could see it because we had like the fucking thing on the bike, so it did end up working. But it was just very finicky getting it all to work. And the whole Hokkaido leg was really nice because there's no cars, but at the end of the day, like I was like, man, I just want to fucking go to a restaurant or like some kind of good lunch spot.
Yeah. I realized what motivates Connor, and that's just food.
Yeah,
food. That's just food. If there is like, you know, compared to like all the donations and all the nice messages,
that helps too.
Which helps a little bit, but the biggest thing is knowing that he has a lunch place to go to.
Well, if I was doing cardio all day, that would probably be my biggest motivation as well.
It's so important, man.
Yeah.
If you have like a fire meal, it's just phenomenal. And when the lunch place we went to, I think it's called it's been Fort by the Ocean, I think it's called.
Fort by the Ocean.
Tomokomai. Yeah, dude. This place was so fire.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, the pizza, I had a whole pizza and a whole pasta.
I'm getting hungry right now looking at it.
Yeah, right?
And they did like amazing coffee.
Yeah.
And oh my Lord.
Yeah, it was just this gem in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how you found it, but it was fucking delicious.
Hell
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Woo!
And there's so many like fresh eggs and so many good pizzas and phenomenal coffee. And it was just like, we hadn't had that. Oh, the cheesecake was unreal.
Yeah. I joined the cyclathon. I sit down and I'm like, okay, I will just order a pizza or something, a meal for one. Meanwhile, Chris and Connor beside me are like, all right, I'm going to get the fries, a pasta and a pizza each. And Connor's like, should I get the cheesecake as well?
Yeah,
and I'm like, motherfucker, what?
I got the cheesecake.
Bro has the carb load.
And then he did. And I'm like, what is going on right now?
I was really full after that. That fucked me up a little bit. Because then when we had dinner that day, we went for sushi and I had like 2 pieces. I was still full.
Yeah. Like, I thought I just had to have a meal for one. Meanwhile, the 2 besides me, I forgot were just both having a simple meal. Just a simple meal, ordering a gourmet fucking 3-course.
And that was where you explained domestic girlfriend to Chris.
Oh, yeah.
He was horrified. He was horrified.
I don't know why this happens.
Yeah, I think someone donated and was like, explain domestic girlfriend to Chris.
Oh my God. But I think one of the favorite things we came across was that train station in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I forgot what the name of the train station was.
There was a train station that was just like a train cart.
Yeah, it was just like a cart.
Abandoned.
And it looked derelict. It looked like abandoned, but it looked like something out of a Studio Ghibli movie or something.
Sick.
Don't let the door open.
Yeah. So I'd forgotten because we went to explore it and it wasn't an automatic door. It was like, of course it wasn't an automatic door.
Of course.
But my brain was just like, cool place, open the door. And someone had left like like some documents there for like check-in. So I don't know how you buy tickets. I assume you just...
Maybe on the train.
Yeah, maybe on the train, but there was like a guest book of people who went to the station and it was like super cool, super old.
Yeah, that's the problem with these like Inaka train stations is that like most of the time we're so used to like tapping on or like someone being there, but then you rock up to some of these places and it's like, oh, I'm inside the station. Oh, and now I'm on the platform.
Yeah.
It's like, where the fuck do I get a ticket? No one is here.
Exactly.
And the next train comes in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'd forgotten that it wasn't an abandoned building, and I just left the fucking door open.
Okay, they closed it.
Luckily, the staff members got my back and they closed the door for me.
It was very funny because he was cycling and then it like cut to their camera and then just them closing it. It was cool. Yes, we had like 2 cameras this time, like 2 feeds. So we were constantly changing between it. It was really cool.
Nice.
The tech, it's been upgraded massively.